Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to share with you the trade recap for last week. In this video, I'm discussing the pairs I traded and the reason why I took those trades. I also discuss what I learned from my mistakes in most of my mysteries this week. This is the last Sunday of the month, 25th of May. So let's get into it. The first trade we had on last week I had GBP USD buy, the GBP USD buy, and it missed the entry. So this is the buy that missed. This is the buy right here. First of all, let me talk about the directional buyers. This have been GPUs have been bullish for a very long time, but some retracement was needed, and I expected that price will retrace to the body of the breaker in 1 day time frame, but instead it rejected from the week. Okay, let me go to 1 day time frame and show you exactly what I mean. This is the week of the breaker, and this is the body of the breaker. I was expecting price to come to the body of the breaker. This is my directional buy for like some days, some maybe since last 2 weeks. Expected it to come to the body, but instead to use the week and started buying. And I really thought right when the price was right here, I really thought that price was still going to come to the body, but it didn't. So I was forced to have a bullish sentiment on GU. Okay, this is the buy we missed, and this should be last 2 weeks. This is not last week. On other brokers, I actually tapped the week of this, but on this Forex.com, I didn't tap it. But this is my first trade last week. My first trade last week, I had. You can see that I have the structure is bullish. Price give liquidity. Structure is bullish. Price give liquidity. Price swept here to make sure that this place isn't actually liquid. So double bottom is liquidity. This is not double bottom. Price swept it. Price swept it, gave the first breaker, gave second breaker, came up, gave liquidity. Liquidity didn't break structure, but it's very valid structure because of direction. Then price came. I was expecting price to tap into the second breaker. Usually, price uses the first breaker to form liquidity. As you can see here, this liquidity was formed with the first breaker, and price comes to take it out to tap the second breaker. But it didn't actually work. We missed by a hair. I think some few pips. I missed this trade, and there's really nothing to learn from this miss because I don't think I will do anything different. So just a miss, and I missed it. This Sorry about that. The second trade, I was actually studying when the second trade played out, so I didn't take this trade. This would have been my second trade for the week, but I didn't take this trade, and it was a very very nice setup. After this miss, I think I was just very down, and I I was just studying. I was just studying. The next buy would have been my next trade on it, but this week's here, I thought this week's mitigated the other block, but turns out it didn't. The key level was still, sorry, I called it key level, but it's still same thing. On 3 hours, the key level was still intact. You can see that price that the wick didn't tap into it on key level and has inducement even on 3 hours. I would have taken the beautiful trade, but I didn't. That's my that was a mistake. Probably something I learned from, a new thing I learned. So this was my first trade for last week. Then down to my second trade for last week. We had GJ, and I hit SL on GJ. Wasn't really my fault. Sorry for I deleted GJ. That's why it's not on my list. Let me just stick with. I'm deciding to stick with USGJPY since it's almost the same thing. They're correlating pairs or relating pairs, whatever they call it. So on GJ, we had a bullish bias. Price was coming to tap the trend line for the fourth time. We're expecting a bounce. We're expecting a bounce on trend line. This is like the fourth time price is coming to tap the trend line. As usual, before price touch the trend line, price first give liquidity. Sorry, before price touch the trend line, price first give liquidity, then broke structure in some ways, but let's not just call it break of structure. And it swept the liquidity, then it broke structure, gave inducement, broke another structure, and was coming to tap it. This was a very nice setup, and I think the only reason why this stuff hit SL is that UJ actually gave us a reason why it was selling. It was a breaker in 1 day time frame. UJ was selling, but since GJ is relating pair with UJ, it was definitely going to sell. That was like definitely going to sell. I think last 2 weeks I was having problem with UG directional buyers. I didn't actually take one check 1 day time frame and I was buying. It really fucked me up, but that was a bad for me. So this was a very very nice setup, and if you go to higher time frame, you see that GJ is not really selling from a pure POI. This trend line would have held bound because of relating pairs and all those stuff. From my experience, I can tell that UJ was selling and GJ will likely have sold. I wanted to enter from this breaker and probably target this week up here as my full TP. Somehow this entry looks like it's an early entry. I really thought it was an early entry. That's why I hit Tesla, because after the sweep I would have used the other block down here, but because of the sweep I would have used the other block down there, but I didn't. And when price tapped into it, price rejected, only to test the trend line again, like test the back of the trend line and fell down. So why did I want to enter early and didn't just actually wait for the other block down the sweep? If you can see this entry, I had it 2 weeks ago and it was a missed buy. I mean, the same thing price did last week. Price gave gave liquidity before tapping the trend line. Then it swept that liquidity. Sorry for writing break of structure here. It swept the liquidity, then broke structure, gave inducement, broke structure to the upside and came back down and tapped the breaker and moved. This was a missed entry. On my higher time frame, I can see that this is what, in fact I didn't even reduce this entry to the body. This was a very very nice setup and I was expected to hold, but this setup didn't hold because if you look at you have to look at go down to as slow as daily time frame, sorry, 5 minutes time frame, to see actually what was wrong with that trade. Let me see if you can get it. I'm getting confused. What is this? Okay, on 5 minutes time frame in that POI, you can see that there was another breaker here before the liquidity. That's where price actually tapped and moved up. So the trade was a missed trade. Because of that, I think that I said, taking entries close to the entry close to inducement is very important. But most times when there is a sweep, you need to take the sweep, or if you're to take the closest one to liquidity, you should be ready to take, like after taking this, if it had hit SL, I was supposed to take this, but I don't chase trades. Once I lose, I might be getting the whole direction wrong. So I just try to be cool about it first to check. Maybe probably if it has gone up and give on that re-entry, but it didn't. I was ready. Sorry about that. My tablet is upgrading or something. So that was a lost trade. My third trade should be USD JPY. USD JPY was my third trade of the week. Oh, my wife is still connected. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So third trade. This was last 2 weeks when I was having problem with directional bias. But let me first talk about the directional bias of the sell before the tip or anything. So on a 1 day time frame, I think I explained this on my last video. On a 1 day time frame, we have inducement and a breaker. On 1 day time frame, price tapped into it. I'm expecting price to even sell and take out at least this higher low or the whole low. Price should be selling. On 1 month time frame, it just did a rejection from a support area. Probably to come back and test the support area, then push up back or take it out. Or even this is liquidity. Expecting this to be liquidity, I'm able to tap on the body of this before we start thinking of buys. But look at right here, probably tap into the body, then start looking for buys. But this should be inducement. I'm looking at this from 1 month time frame, trying to get my direction. That's what I'm doing right here, and this should be inducement. Price can very well just tap into this support and move up again, but at least we know that it's coming down. It's definitely coming down. Definitely coming down there, and then wait for the end result before deciding if we're going to buy or we're going to sell. So, and this support is the reason why last 2 weeks I was very adamant to taking the selling momentum. I thought that because it was coming from the support, every other thing was just going to be liquidity. I turned out to be liquidity. If I checked in 1 day time frame and saw that, then I would have probably not hit hit some excess I did last week, last 2 weeks on UJ. So directional bias is very important. We all know that, and I hope I get better at it with time. I definitely hope I get better at it with time. And okay, still explaining, going down to the 1 hour time frame, explaining the USD sell, USD sell. So right here, we can see that price broke structure, and the first pullback was this week. And after creating the inducement, price took it out. And when price was coming right here, I gave this setup when price was still here, and I was thinking that price would come up and just tap me and fall down, but price tapped inducement and gave more liquidity before coming up, tap it and drop. And somehow someone look at this and be like, what do you actually see? Like, I should have taken from this breaker or something. Let's go to 2 hours and check out why. On 2 hour time frame, I can see that there is a breaker in this level on 2 hours time frame, a breaker in this level on 2 hours time frame, and that's the body of the breaker, probably where price should tap. But this higher time frame, probably going to just tap the wick and drop. You can say I used the bullish wick to refine it and other things, but this is what I did. I went to 1 hour time frame. Sometimes I use line chart, and this is also a breaker. This is definitely also a breaker. This right here, I went to my line chart and I turned it on. So this is a breaker. I'm trying to enter from the start of the breaker, the body from the start, and to show that I know that that's not all I will need. That's not all I will need. If you notice, I targeted this doji candle here. I proceeded to use the doji candle to place my SL just in case. I wasn't actually targeting the body of this. I was targeting the doji candle just in case market wanted to like overreact. But I actually used this breaker, or you can say key level, but I used this breaker. Let's not just get complicated. From what you have studied from probably other things, and you just keep bringing things together to form your own strategy and everything. But I actually use this body, this key level or this breaker, and I use this doji candle as my SL, because if you look at the SL placements from 2 hours time frame, you see that it also accounted for the 2 hours breaker, just in case the 2 hours breaker were to hold. That's exactly what I did. And this is the trade in the group. I know I sent it to the group. This is the trade in the group, and this is me placing it. So let me check. This GPSG. SL. Sorry. Okay. No, this is USD card. I didn't even take the trade. Sorry about that. Uh, so let's forget about me placing trade. But I sent the trade to the group, and it actually did well. But before the trade triggered, I also had another setup. I also trade my algo market structure. I use continuation patterns and algo market structure. Everybody should know algo market structure or advanced market structure. Dax teaches it for free on the YouTube channel. You can go check it out. But if you look at this sell pattern in algo market structure, we have inducement, we have liquidity up there, price broke structure, swept liquidity, broke on that structure, gave inducement or structural liquidity, it should be at least 50% to be valid. Then price also came down again. I'm expecting price to come back up, then tap the probably the QMR or the other block up there and sell off. With that, I'm actually my entry is here and I'm covering here as my SL. Last 2 weeks I was actually trading lower time frame and it cost me a lot of SL. So recently I've just tried to keep to the higher time frame. If you're learning and you're starting up, I'm not actually a pro, I'm really trying my own way. So higher time frame is just the best. That's why I'm sticking to higher time frame. You can see that exact thing I just drew here. You can see it right here. I don't need to put the break of structures and everything. This is inducement of structural liquidity right here. Break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. This is an A plus setup with the direction that if price is going to tap it first. I don't there is a low that price is going to take out and I'll just give up on the setup for now. But while having this setup, I actually saw this other setup up. It's an A plus setup. If you can see what I drew right here. Look at it right here. Price gave liquidity, took out the liquidity, swept the high, broke structure, gave inducement, broke structure. So pressing price to come and tap into and sell. And I would love to take this trade if it triggers next week, depending if it makes my if it still if it still does it within my criteria, like the lower low, the higher low, sorry. If it doesn't take out two higher lows first. If it just takes out two higher lows first, I'll be like that's gone too far for it to come back and tap me in. I think this is my daily support. I also use support and resistance to gauge my direction, but it doesn't work too well. Just to know if you're trading in line. But I wouldn't recommend it because at some time I started fucking up. But I was actually using support and resistance to get my direction. This is my breakdown that block entries to find entries, and it was actually doing well earlier this year. But you need to grow. You need to grow. So what I started doing is using my strategy, go to higher time frame and analyze the higher time frame structure, like I did in 1 month time frame, 1 day time frame. Then you get your direction. You can now use 1 hour to 4 hours to find the entry. Lowest I go now is 45 minutes. So this is the trade. For those people that are trying to take a sell from here, I won't advise it because the market might just jump, take it out, and every other thing. I don't like analyzing on Saturday and Sunday for a setup that is very close. I was analyzing on Saturday and Sunday. Even if the setup is right here, I don't like analyzing from Saturday and Sunday. Then it triggers. Probably we hit a sell. That is, I've noticed it. So what I do, if it's QMR, you can actually QMR will hold. But for other types of structures like the breaker, the other block, usually when the setup is just there, beautiful and everything, waiting for Monday, on Monday to day, it might definitely get a sell. I might just take out that obvious setup as liquidity. So people actually say that they use Mondays to get the direction of the market. I don't know. I don't know about that, but Monday market is crazy because some people don't actually trade on Monday. Very, very good idea. Monday market is crazy. USD card. USD card, I was very skeptical about this one. USD card was it changed. I know it changed bearish. Many people have been waiting for this PY to tap, and I had the PY up there. Sorry about this. Sorry about this. I need to go 1 day. You can already see there's a breaker up there. Let me just go 1 day. As a breaker up here, inducement, person tried price to tap into it and continue. Price have been selling 1 day time frame, 1 week time frame. Price is just slight retracement and all. So price is just retracing. As you can clearly see, price is just tracing upward. The bullish momentum was just temporary, very temporary. So I bet price to tap up here, taking out the inducement. But after price took out the inducement, just use fair value gap and it's dumping. I actually had the buy set up here last 2 weeks. I think I had the buy set up right here. No, last week. Last 2 weeks. Yeah. I had the buy set up right here. Waiting price to take out the inducement, tap me into the break and now tap the POI. But price didn't. It took me out. This is the protected low. It swept, took out inducement, and took out liquidity, gave inducement inducement structure or inducement liquidity, tapped it, but it still failed to take out this high, showing that the bullish momentum is definitely dead. They are still looking for sales. This is the break of structure. This is the break of structure. Then this is the inducement for the break of structure. This was very confusing. When the structure is not that clear, it's just best to leave and see what you're going to do. This is, I'll consider this the first break of structure because of this, I think it's a it turned to a higher low or something. So I'll consider it my first break of structure, the inducement and all. But the inducement had its own inducement. That was my confusion. This POI, this POI, this POI. The inducement had its own inducement. Then I sent this to the group. I sent this to the group, and I was like so confusing. Yeah, this is actually 2 hours time frame. If you go to 1 hour time frame, you see this, and tapped it, and it actually fell off. But what I was getting from that is that next week, even below this resistance here, so it now support no, okay, it was support now resistance. So next week I'll be looking for sales. We're waiting for structure, valid V-shaped liquidity. I'll be waiting for more sales. So that was a trade I didn't even consider. I only considered taking it. I was skeptical and I left it. Then the next trade to GBP USD. GBP USD by I can't hold it over the weekend. Like I can't hold this setup right here. It looks nice. Gave inducement and all, but I cannot hold it over the weekend. 1 to 4 trade. I can't hold it over the weekend. Very close. It's very close to triggering and holding it over the weekend. Monday can just stick me out and still go my direction. So I was not holding this limit over the weekend, but I'm definitely holding the USD JPY over the weekend. So I'm not even sure to my trigger on Monday. My trigger on Tuesday or Wednesday. Depends. I'm definitely not holding this trade, but this was a nice setup that didn't trigger. Anyway, I didn't trade too much. The higher time, looking at higher time frame helped me a lot. So I only took SL on GJ, USD JPY, TP, but I didn't take that trade. That trade triggered around 1 a.m. in the night, and I deleted my entry. I was now waiting for the A plus one up there, so I didn't actually take that trade. Then I missed it. I think somebody close to me actually took that trade. He held his own and he took that trade, but I didn't take the trade personally. And that's all for the pairs I trade. I only trade USD, gold, USD card, USJPY, and I almost forgot about the gold setup last week. Gold setup last week was crazy, crazy. So originally, this is where I wanted to enter this trade from. This is, I think I explained it in the group too. I think some people now thought it was on that limit. So break of structure, price gave liquidity. I thought this was trend line liquidity right here. Didn't even have too much taps. Misconception, whatever they call it, the first breaker. Okay, this should be the first breaker that used to form the liquidity, and this was the breaker I was expecting my buys from. I was really expecting price to come and buy from there, but I'm trading higher time frame, but I failed to look on the 4 or 3 other higher time frames that actually I can take entries from. So right now, if I say entry on 4 hours, I would definitely take it. Missing an avoid an entry that would have refined of 4 hours made me to miss the main buy. If you notice in the group, I actually give a directional buy that this is what I'm expecting on gold. I gave it out. I gave it out on 1 day time frame. Hold on. I gave it out on 1 day time frame. This is definitely gonna happen. Inducement on gold. You can see inducement right here. This is an inducement, this is an inducement. Everything. I gave it out. I know I sent it. You start looking for we sent too many messages in the group. This I just sent it to myself so I can be able to access it faster. Always I sent too many stuff to the group, so I might not find it. But I think look at it right here. I know I sent this to the group. Some people wanted to enter from that higher time frame. After I just let them, I would have entered it myself, but I didn't. I would have gone to 4 hours and refined this stuff, or just refine this stuff to the body here. You understand? I refined this to the body and taking this trade. At least from year to year, I've been a 1 to 5 trade. Don't miss any opportunity. Me next time I see some stuff like this and it can be refined and probably to the point that from year to year will give like 1 to 6, I will definitely take it. This mistake I did because of this stuff on when he tapped into it and started pushing up, I was like, let me get an entry. This gave inducement. I think on lower time 50. I was still trading lower time frame then. But trading higher time frame. I was expecting this to be the inducement, then price would tap into it. Tap into the breaker. Price took me out. Tapped the entry again and started pushing up. I didn't take this one right here because it's not clear. It isn't clear on higher time frame, so I didn't take it. Definitely didn't take it. Okay, I didn't think I was almost trying to even delete gold. That's something we need to remove. Anytime pair you see TSL, like you always see SL. No need for you to start getting angry at the pair or something. If you don't see it because you didn't understand it, I'm just trying to realize that and this is four set of pairs. 4 pairs. I'm sticking to these 4 pairs like crazy. Um, I don't think I'll change it anytime soon. So if I looked at 4 hours time frame, as I said, a higher time frame, I'd have seen that this inducement right here, what I'm saying my inducement liquidity or whatever, will just this pullback, as you can see right here, didn't tap into this other block that was just resting there. If I had just seen it, this was a very nice inducement and just tapped into it and pushed up. I was now expecting price I was expecting price that price will come and tap into here, but this was right here. You see on 1 hour time frame, it looks like it's what gave birth to the inducement, but on 4 hours it didn't even tap into it. It didn't even tap into it. On 1 hour, you look price tapped into it to create inducement. I know you can definitely see this price tapped into to create inducement. But on 4 hours, it didn't tap into it. So this is a mistake I did. I'm trying to trade higher time frame, but if I'm switching time frames, I'll just end it 3 hours. Probably normally two. I won't actually go the whole. But next time I will definitely not fall for this cheap trick. So I missed this trade and will I say it's a missed trade? It's missed the trade because I didn't actually get the entry right. Should have milked it. So that was the last trade. Please like and subscribe. I know I'm not like the best, but I'll try sharing some things I get to see in the market. I know many people in the group. You're not in my group. I don't know how you're going to DM me. I don't know, let me give my number. If you're not in the group, and this is the group right here. So if you're not in the group, just DM me. Sorry about those stuff. So just DM me. I don't run any classes. I'm not that good to even teach anybody. I don't teach. And I don't have any basic in our group or anything. This group is just, I think me and some other people founded this group. We dropping setup, but I'm not promoting anything. This is actually a paid group, but I'm not promoting anything. My group is definitely free. DM me right now, and please like and subscribe. That's very important. Comment if you have to. I'll continue sharing what I see in the market, do my trade recaps, what I learned from it, why I took it, my directional bias. Sorry for not creating this video on Saturday as I promised. Okay, that is it for the week's trade recap. I hope you found it very informative and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more trading content and a sneak peek. Okay, I'll be sharing trading setup videos on Sunday, but let's say trading tips video, not trading setup video. If you want setup, you can come to my group. If not, just learn from my mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes and I hope I'll stop making those mistakes. I'll be creating videos probably mostly on weekend because I used to just post pictures on TikTok, but now I think making videos on weekend to analyze the whole thing will be very very much better. So I hope you learned something, you took something, like you learned something from this video. And if you have something I should clarify on, like I should make videos on that, or maybe like Thursdays or something with my own understanding. I think I've watched many courses, I've learned from many people, learned from Lingard, Tony, Dax, and other things. I'm just never giving up. I hope I motivate you. If not anything, hope I motivate you enough not to give up, because recently, about 2 weeks now, I think I've been on losing streak and I'm losing trades. The trade that's supposed to break me out from the cycle, I've been like something will happen, I'll miss them. I'm not giving up. I'm definitely I'm definitely still here. I think I'm getting better every day. So please like and subscribe. See you on the next video. Thank you very much. Sorry for making the video long.